Hey guys, it's Ivy here again for Tarot Tuesdays. We're going to get right to it today. This question today comes from a friend of mine on the East Coast. She would like to know what's March energy going to feel like. It's a great question because today is the first day of March. In like lion, out like lamb, right? Okay, so I'm just going to set that intention into these cards. I give them a good shuffle. Okay, and then let's get right to it. All right, card number one, the Ace of Cups. I'm going to try and make that so it's not glary. Okay, so yeah, aces make sense for new beginnings, new months, because this is all about new things starting, new innovations coming in, mostly new energies. And the energy of cups is all about emotions, relationships, feelings, sometimes intuition, sometimes spirituality. And so this would indicate to me either a new relationship is going to be starting or new emotions around a new relationship is going to be starting. Also, sometimes when this card gets pulled, it might indicate someone's going to get a marriage proposal or that there's a baby on the way. Knowing this person, I don't think she's expecting either of those two things. I think she's pretty happily married, and I don't think she's expecting any kids, but maybe there's something we don't know about. I doubt it, but maybe she can leave a comment. Okay, so great first card for our 3-card spread for the month of March. All right, number 2, the Star. This is actually a really interesting card. Let's see if I can hold it up a little bit better. This is actually a really interesting card to get following the Ace of Cups, because the Star is also, as you can see by all the water imagery, about emotions. It's also about our connection with the divine and our connection with our intuitiveness and our sense of spirituality. So maybe that Ace of Cups is less about emotions and relationships and more about tapping into this higher part of yourself. Some interesting symbolism on this card really quickly. It's got those 7 white stars at the top. Those are supposed to represent our chakra system, our energy centers in our body. And that big, brilliant star at the top, which the card is named after, is how each of us are sort of a big, bright, brilliant star incarnated into this human form. And so this card is really asking you to tap into that glowing, bright, loving brilliance that you are. That's like kind of bigger than yourself, like your higher self, right? Another really interesting thing about this card is it's actually a very grounded card, right? So this card isn't like run to a hostel and live in the wilderness for the rest of your life. You'll notice she's got 1 foot in the water, right? So representing that connection to the intuition and to the divinity of the human experience. She's also still leaning on the ground. So this is actually a very grounded card. And so I think that's really important to remember as we ascend in spirituality. It's not just about reaching these higher states of being, it's also about staying grounded while we reach higher states of being. So I think that's really interesting. Yeah, and again, if you look at the symbolism on this card, you'll see the water coming down onto the earth is divided into 5 streams. That's supposed to represent our 5 senses. So yeah, again, like having an awareness of the brilliancy of who you are, also staying grounded. I think also worth pointing out, if you guys didn't make this connection, even though this is, minor card and this is a major card, there's a lot of really similar symbolism in here. So I think this feels like it's coming in really strong for this person for March. And so I would just say, stay open to it and allow it to move through you, because wow, what a gift. This card's a great card. Okay, let's see if this follows suit. It does not. Okay. I'm sorry. Funny, not funny. Okay. This is the Devil card. In a lot of traditional tarot readings, this would represent being bound to materialism, being stuck, being chained to darker forces that are not in our highest interest or our greatest good. I tend to interpret this card just a little bit differently by saying, I think that this card is a warning or kind of like a stop sign when we start buying into or recirculating our old thoughts from the past, our old conditioning, all the old programs that we inherit from our family, our culture, our friends, really everywhere, right? All of the conditioning messages that you're not good enough, or you don't have what it takes, or people don't like you, you're not lovable, you're not safe, right? And remembering that this is like, a mental job, right? This isn't you're like physically chained to anything. You're not physically chained by your job. You're chained by your perception of what it feels like to be in your job. And so I think having these two cards together would indicate to me like, do this and be prepared that as we do this and we start to reach these higher experiences, that all of our old thinking, our old behaviors, our old conditioning, our old patterns, they just naturally want to come up. And so remembering when they start to come up that it's your perspective that needs to shift and not necessarily the situation. So, okay, that's March energy for this person. If anybody has any questions they want answered with tarot in the future moving forward, send me a message. And otherwise, I hope everybody has a great week.